So I get asked the question a lot, James, how do I close deals? How can I close business and become successful in sales? What do I need to do? What do I need to say? What clever phrases can I use? So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few phrases that you can use to close successfully, but I'm going to give you one big warning at the start of the video of what you have to do before you start issuing and saying those type of words. My name is James White, small business sales expert, passionate about helping small businesses win business and close and get success. Let's have a look at the video and make sure that we use the right phrases at the right time in order to close deals. Let's have a look at the video. So let me let you into a little secret. People say to me, oh yeah, well that person, I've spoke to someone and they've told me that you can become an expert closer just by meeting someone and talking to them and saying a few words at the start. Bullshit. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen. And let me be clear with you, if you feel that you can close someone on the first time that you meet them in a business-to-business sales environment, the chances are you're going to lose that opportunity. Sure, there's things you can say, sure there's ways you can shape the call and the conversation to go in the way you want it to, but it's highly unlikely that you will close a deal on the first time you meet someone. And no matter what phraseology you use, no matter what clever words, if you do something too soon in a business situation that makes the other person feel a little bit threatened or even feel a little bit uncomfortable, the chances are you will lose that opportunity. I believe fully that closing is a process that happens when, over a period of time, you've built up a relationship with that other side, you've understood what's going on in their world, you've understood their drivers and what's happening, and what that then does is you've been able to show them how your solution can make their problem or desire go away. And when you do that, closing then is an option for you to take, and then give some phrases you can use to make that happen. But if you try and issue statements such as, which of the options would you like to go forward with right now? Or you're going to make people just back off and think, no, I don't want to speak to that person. There's a great saying in sales that I use all the time. Desperation is a stinky perfume. And if you act too desperate and you look too desperate in business, the chances are you're not going to win the chance to work with that client in time. But yet, if you're a bit more patient and continue to give value, then you will. Now, maybe there's someone out there that will tell you that I'm wrong, but that's up to them. Follow them if you want, try their methods and see how you get on. But invariably, closing comes when you've really understood them and you say the right thing at the right time, maybe at meeting number 2 or subsequent meetings in order to get that deal done. So what are some of the phrases you can use in order to get that deal over the line? Here's one that can work for you. Which of the 2 services would you like to move forward with? That's what we call an assumptive close. If you've presented 2 services to the other side, it's basically saying to them, which of these 2 would you like to go forward with? And hopefully they're going to say service number 1, in which case you can say, fantastic, I'll get the paperwork in place and move forward. But if actually they come back to you and say, I'm not sure either one of those are right, it means you've got further work to do. And if that does happen, the way you handle that objection is to say, what parts of what we've offered or the solution don't fit well with you or don't sit well with you? Or what would you need to see in order to feel comfortable to move forward with one of those service offerings? The reality is, if you use the phrase, which service would you like to move forward with, it's what we call an assumptive close, and it works if that person's undecided between the 2 options and it gets them to make one decision. But use it at the wrong time and it can go badly wrong. Another great closing phrase that I can sometimes use was I'll say to someone, it sounds like you'd rather stay with these issues and not get them resolved. And the natural reaction, especially when I've understood the problems and challenges they're facing, is that they'll come back to me and say, no, we want to get them resolved. In which case my next line is to say, fantastic, let's move forward and work together. It's using the word no or getting the other person to say no in order to put them in control, but then be in a position to show them a solution that can solve the problem. So be prepared to enable them to say the word no. How would it feel to still be in this situation in a few months' time? It sounds like you want to stay in this situation for a few months' time. Or it sounds like you don't want to get this issue resolved. Or it sounds like you don't have a passion to change things. Getting them to say, no, I do, means you can then say, great, let's pick a solution that get you to move things forward. And the only thing that's going to stop them is if they don't believe you can do it or they don't trust you to do it. And if that's the case, there's more work to do. So another close you can use when you're having a conversation with someone is to say to them this: John, when would you like to have this solved by? What that does is hopefully put a timescale to that person so that they can indicate they want to get things solved by next week. And what you can then start to do is say, great, if I work backwards from that date, we need to get things started by next week in order to move things forward. Shall I get the paperwork in place? By allowing the person to define the date and time by which they want to get the problem resolved, what you can then do is work backwards from that point and then hopefully give them a solution that enables them to say, yes, makes sense to get it done now so I can get that timeline in place. And if they then say to you, no, I'm not sure I want to do it at that point, you can then go back and say, you mentioned you wanted to get it done by that time. What's changed? And ultimately it's because maybe they don't think that you're going to solve the problem, or they can't see how it's going to work for them, or they don't believe that what you can do will make the difference. So our job in business and sales is to show them that we can and how we go about solving that. And if we do that and give that time frame to them, hopefully they're going to think comfortable to say, great, let's move things forward and get the paperwork signed. This fourth closing phrase is a phrase that sometimes I like to use when I've been maybe having a few conversations with someone and maybe we've been dancing around the subject of working together for a while. And I'll sometimes ask them this: hey Sally, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to work with me and get this deal completed? And I'll say it in a tone that's really simple or basically quite subtle in order to make sure that I'm showing my empathy and trying to understand their side of things. But by saying that, what I'm asking them to do is tell me outright what's stopping you from actually moving things forward. And hopefully the reaction I'll get is nothing. I'm keen to do it, in which case I can say, great, let's move things forward and get the paperwork in place, or let's get the deal done, or book a date and time in. But if they say, I'm actually feeling uncomfortable about this or this, then it enables me to address it. And what I can then do again is not talk over that objection, but get inside their mind and start to say to them, okay, great, you mentioned this issue. What would you need to see to feel comfortable? Or what do I have to show you? What do you need to put in place in order to feel comfortable about that issue? Or if we were to solve that issue, how would you then feel about moving things forward? The key thing in sales is people commit to doing things when they feel assured, they feel comfortable that their money that they're going to invest is going to give the result that they want. And our job in sales is to make sure we bring those two closer together. And if we do that, we get great results. And the final phrase I encourage you to use is a phrase I've used a few times today, but it's a really simple phrase that you can use when you're trying to work with someone and get that deal done. What do you need to see to feel comfortable to move forward? You're asking them outright, what do you need to see to feel comfortable to move things forward? And when you actually say that, hopefully they're going to say nothing, we feel great about the solution, in which case you can then respond with, fantastic, let's get things moving, I'll get things kicked off, let's get a date and timing to get started. Or if they are honest with you and say, we need to see some more evidence, what you can then start to do is ask more about the evidence and what's causing them to be worried. Underlying issues behind people's decisions are always the reason that stop them from making decisions or making things happen. And our job as a sales and business people is to get inside their mind, try and think what they're thinking. What are the worries? What are the things getting in the way of them saying yes and moving things forward? So once we do that, we understand what's happening, we can take the right actions at the right time to win business. So look, these are some of the phrases that I've used, and there's a range of other phrases that I have available in a resource on my website. Click on the resource here and you can get access to it, and I can provide you with lots of phrases to use that can help you close deals. But as I said at the start, if you start closing deals at the wrong time or putting pressure on people to get into situations that they feel uncomfortable with, don't be surprised to see them run away from you or not work with you. Desperation is a stinky perfume. We don't want to be too desperate. We want to approach it at the right time. And if we do and build the relationship, we understand them, we understand the issues they're going through, we show them how we solve it, and we give them trust with other examples and case studies, they're going to work with us, they're going to say yes to us, and we're going to close more deals. My name is James White. I'm a small business sales expert. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas on what to do to close more. And if it has, great, put them in practice and let me know how you get on. Connect with me socially on James White Sales and tell me how the phrases have worked for you. If they haven't worked for you and you're not getting success, hey, reach out and let's talk about how we can help you get more success. But my goal is to help you win more business. Let's follow the video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you get access to my resources, and I'll do everything I can to make you a sales success. Thanks for watching, and look forward to sharing another video with you next Saturday.